Alright, this is Python Poker, and we're out here playing some lunch poker play and explain session for our current thought process on this 2-0 game here. Remember, this is the ante game. So ante game for me means I need to be a little bit more wide pre-flop. And given that, I think this is a little bit too wide with King 4 offsuit. So we will fold that one. So what we're going to do is develop a pure non-overplaying my equity. Well, that's a negative statement, so let's try to make it a positive statement. So we're going to play a strategy where we're going to ask the question on most of the streets: am I overplaying my equity? If so, fold or, give up the hand based off the opponent's actions, sizes, and timings. So given this is a ante game, we're going to call this one here. So the ante game is going to make us open a little bit wider, and of course we get a little min bet here, and there's nothing else we can do but call this one blind and see how we go. So we have some 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. We're going to check over to our min raise pre-flop aggressor, which is no longer a min raise anymore, folks. They went all in, and we got a call. Wow. Okay. So I'm just going to let the time go a little bit so we can think about some actions. All in is definitely probably an overpair. Call is probably going to be a straight draw or flush, but we're definitely going to fold, and we'll see if we can guess these hands. And we got a flush, and they did complete their hand, so that makes sense for the call. Large call, right? 70 plus BB call for that flush draw. So it's kind of a little gambly there, but the person that went all in don't know what they're doing there with that ace queen. They did rebuy to my left at 50 BBs, so we'll definitely see what they do in the future. But we're just gonna play one hand at a time. I'm not playing a 30-minute session today. Well, I am, but my mindset is it's a infinite session, just based off every hand being all in as needed, or to the other interval of folding. So we're just gonna play every decision at a time, give our thoughts, and we're gonna use the whole time today when we give our actions, just so given the whole time clock, we can really think through our logic clearly. We can make sure we don't overplay a hand and make snap decisions. Just fully think through our time bank and make the best play possible. And we're also going to make sure we look at all the nodes, all the actions, all the streets, just so we can make the highest profitable play. And given the full time bank, it's going to allow us to make more thoughts and more explanation of our logic. So if in the comments, if you see me talking through a hand and my logic is off in my play, I'm going to explain it out here in real time so you guys can see my full process, and hopefully we get some feedback in the comments to, if I had a incorrect play, let me know. Just looking to get better here. I'm kind of thinking this as like a modern day social AI, I guess. Is that like a oxymoron, social AI? I'm not sure, but just to get some feedback. And we're playing these 10-0 games on our little live play and review and play and explain session. And I'm doing some foretabling of 2-0 during the nighttime hours to get my volume higher, just so I can get some more decisions and eliminate some of my leaks. And so when I play here live, I'll have most of that volume done at night on a little lower stakes, I guess. 2-0, 4 tables. We're risking $8, so it's similar to the 1 table experience of the 10-0. But we get to minimize some risk there on some decisions because I still am making tons of leaks. I'm at about a 30% error rate, and that so far over 10,000 hands at 2-L, 30% error rate, but I'm still about 50 BB per 100. So it's a contradiction. So it's a good win rate, I guess, for 2-L. However, as we know, you get lots of equity realization and playing against a high population of fish in the first level or stake of poker, 2-L. So, but I'm using that volume to make sure I can get a large sample of hands to make sure I can practice the most profitable decisions. So when we go through our thoughts today, that practice will help me guide my decisions and help me clarify any action based off timings, average tendencies of pool that I've experienced, and so on. So, and as we know, it is lunch time poker, and we will eat our lunch as well. Wonder what you guys are eating today or what you had. Comment that below, and we will have a lunch discussion. Even if it's after the fact, we can always talk about lunch. So if you don't know, the McDonald's app is amazing, just because you get discounts. So today's lunch, a $2.70 deal for a sandwich and a drink. Given these times, that is a great deal, even though it's not good for cholesterol and calories. But I guess we're getting some protein, so we can't go wrong with protein. And I guess there's pickles. Is that vegetables? I'm not sure. All right, so monotone board, very multi-way. Third size bet, multi-way. Multi-way pots for me, the way I'm thinking about it is I just need to play pure equity and pure hand strength, because given multi-way, our opponents are going to have wide ranges, and nuts are going to change, can change on every street. So we just have to play those strong ranges and pure combo equity. I'll check this for sure. Let's do it. I love to check with an anti-game. Let's do it. And so we'll see what we do. This person on my left did bluff ace king high, ace queen high. So we're gonna take a card here, and if they check back, I'm gonna bluff. We'll see if they continue betting. Given their stack size, all in makes the most sense. And here we're just going to continue through with our. We're going to bet. We're going to bluff this one. And we're going to do an over bet of this bluff. And if they call, whatever. But their aggression. Okay, so they're going to raise here. I can't do anything here but fold this hand, so good on you. Probably should have, maybe I should have went all in on that bluff, but given my non-showdown value, I decided bluffing is the best choice on that hand. But there's still a short stack, so we'll play against them again, and maybe we'll get them next time. But I think bluffing there is a good choice. And also I had a card that's connected to a straight, so 60% of a straight is decent, I guess. I'm gonna limp with the small stacks to my left, and we're gonna check this one and see what develops. And this Right, look at their stats. 52 and 8 wide range, 47-14 wide range. And this person, wow, these are all smaller stack folks. Let's see what their ranges, pre-flop ranges are. A little bit more aggressive with the PFR in that individual. So they're probably playing a little stronger ranges, even though it was a limp pot. So we really can't put anyone here on anything at this point. But they are betting like they have some type of draw or top pair, or even ace high, I guess, trying to steal the pot. But we will continue taking our time, not rushing through anything, taking it one hand at a time, and playing our equity. Even on the button 210 in this ante game, we're going to fold this one and look for better opportunity in the future, but we'll look at the action here. We have some limps. Given the stacks, I probably will see limps all the way around. And there we go. And we have wide flops, so we're getting some. This table is very passive, so that's, I guess, good for us. This is a limp pot, by the way. Flush draws probably are a little bit more rare in a limp pot, but definitely kings are available, aces are available, all kinds of stuff. So we got a raise here over the top. It's like someone that's a big stack player is putting a little bet. They're probably going to call that min raise, and most likely we'll check to the aggressor, and we'll see what size. Okay, so they're going to do a block bet with their kings. I probably shouldn't have bet that one there. Maybe the king 2 is better for a picking off a bluff than block betting there, especially given the board. But we will take a note of that, and we will keep that as needed. So I was saying, 80 BBs or so definitely should always be at 100 BB stack, but given the short stacks to my left, I'm going to, and I have them covered, so that's good for me at this point. And I do still have some showdown, some equity there, fold equity. So 43 and 7 is pretty wide. I'm gonna be sneaking in limp. Looks like these folks like to limp. Maybe we'll get to see some cards with this ante game. And I think Queen 10 can call a small raise in position. Okay, so we do have a gut shot. I think we can call a small bet one time with a gut shot here. Or is it better to raise here? Now, multi-way when I want to definitely play my equity. So this person could still have some ace highs, king high in their range. And given by the small bets, I'm going to call. And we are going to bluff the river. We're going to go all in. They call. But given the sizes on their actions, I think, leaning towards a fold. That's why I did it. But we'll see. Call with ace high. Okay, good. So we got a nice bluff there through. We like it. All right, so let's continue going through the actions. So the reason why I decided to bluff there is, first of all, short stack player. They're betting small on the various streets, and I'm uncapped in my range, so I have all the straights on my end compared to them betting. Looks like king high, ace high. So given the action, especially with the check on the river, all in there is the most reasonable choice to get equity in in my case. And of course, if we do hit the straight on the end, all in is also the choice to get. If we hit the nut straight at the end, we would still would go all in, and hopefully a smaller straight or 2 pair or a set would call. So that all in size accomplishes a lot there. We get the fold equity versus the small bet sizes representing a bottom range of the opponent, and also it accomplishes getting max value for our nutted region as well. So that's just what that's what was going through our head given that action. And here we go. Raise, little min raise. Min raise doesn't accomplish much, especially in the ante game. It doesn't make any sense. If it just bloats the pot, and it gives me, as the big blind, it's just a bigger pot and bigger equity realization on the flop, because 1 BB to play a 13 or 14 BB pot, we definitely like that. Here we have a gut shot and 2 overs. So we're going to check back to the short stack player. I'm going to do a full-time bank here, just so I can avoid timing tails, and we'll play to the tick. We'll check to the tick, and we'll see what they do. Quick snap check. And all right, so we did end up hitting the straight on the turn. I'm going to do a 25%. I'm going to actually do a 33% bet. And I'm going to do a full-time bank timing to avoid timing tails. If anyone has a flush draw, they'll call. Ace high will call here. Hopefully a 5 will call, a raise. And we'll see if we can get some action. But if not, we'll take down the pot with a 33% bet. Let's go for it. Okay, so didn't get any value there, but maybe 25% bet was better. But 25 to 33% bet's kind of the same hand classes would call there. So I think I need to change my pre-size maybe to 25% instead of 33%. I can always do 33% and then scroll to the left, but I think I need to have a quick set of 25%. And so we are now, I think I have to fold even 10-3 offsuit here, even though it's anti-game, I'm not gonna be that wide. Now, I want to have at least, Queen 10, maybe Jack 9 to have some playability. Post flop, even though it's still the anti-game, all my bottom flushes, I'd probably raise, 2-5, the wheel flush draws, pre-flop, but I want to have some playability and not just call just to call, just to be that wide. We still want to play and have some equity advantage when we're going through these streets here, but we're not just going to blindly play, right? This is the long-term game. We're going to make the best possible choice. And 10-3 offsuit, not the best choice there. All right, 4-3 offsuit from the button. I think that's not even open. I don't think I can open that. I think that's the bottom end of my pre-flop opening size. Alright, so looks like we're playing some hands a little quickly today, even though almost a full ring table here. And also these players are very passive, so I'm going to check this person's stats. 36 and 8 rare. pre-flop open, larger VPIP, call, also wide, and these 24. Oh, so this person here is 24-18. I'm going to fold this hand, given it's a condensed range to the direct left of the pre-flop raiser, and their opening ranges are more on the tighter end. I think they're going to have their range is going to outperform my range pre-flop. Given also, if I call there, they can get re-raised over the top by the early position players. So I don't want to do that with ace-4 of clubs. Ace-10 of clubs, call. I would call for sure. And pocket pairs, 9s or higher, I definitely do a 4-bet over the top. But that's why we didn't call that hand. King 10. I got a recreational, like a fish, I guess, in the button. So I'm going to open against the short stack player with King 10. You have some playability post flop, and let's see what happens here. And I also did bluff this person off a nice pot earlier, and so here I have a monotone board. I'm going to 25% range bet this flop. So I'm gonna have to scroll down. They will call with a diamond. If they check, I'm going to 50% pot bet this one. They will call with a diamond draw, and they will raise with a better flush draw. So I'm going to fold this one. Given that they called the flop for a small size, maybe I should have checked. Maybe a better play would be to check the turn, and if they check the river, then try to do the half pot size bet as a bluff. So in the future, I'm probably going to play that one a little bit differently. So given a monotone flop on that previous board, I bet small, which I'm going to bet small most of my range on a monotone flop, just continue. But given that there's two things, given that they called the flop and they checked the turn, and I continue with a half pot bet, a half pot bet, I guess, is fine. I guess it might have been weak. Maybe I should have did a 75% pot bet or check. I think I should have checked the turn there. And if they checked back on the river, and let's say a blank hit the river, or even a 5 flush board, 50% or 75% bet would make more sense there for some bluffs versus on the turn. So I think I'm going to play that one differently in the future. But, they will raise and show us their hand given that, and we're just going to get out of there. So when they did raise that hand, even though I did do a 50% pot bet, so that might have looked like weakness to them, not sure, but we can't call that one there, and we have really no equity. That's the bottom of our range. We did the right bluff, but I think in the wrong order, on the wrong street, so to say. So we'll see if we can get some more interesting hands here in our lunchtime series. King 10 anti-game. We're gonna play this one. It's a little wide, but I need to open up a little wider. If we get 3-bet, we're gonna fold. Okay, so we get 2 pair, top 2 pair. Here, what I'm gonna do, there's a couple choices. Do I want to check? I don't have much to be scared of at this point, but we are gonna bet our equity. Maybe a king will call. I'm gonna size down though. I'm gonna size down to get a 10 or king to call. We have top 2, so pocket 3s are available. There's straight draws available as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start sizing up. Since they showed interest in the pot, I'm going to do 67% to jam the river. Okay, so, I think 67% is okay. Typically, I would do 75% or 50%, but 67% is more like in the middle, where my opponent might think it's indifferent for that. So that's why I was kind of choosing that, since they did show interest as well in the pot, putting them on a king. They most likely didn't have a king. They probably had some type of draw, and they didn't improve their equity there. So they fold. We get a pair. We're going to just check here, out of position. I think there's no timing tells needed, out of position. We're just going to check and get some value here. If they bet small, they do bet small here. Let's see what their range is pre-flop. 47 and 9, really wide range. We're going to call here. Call 1. And we're going to check, probably check the same, quick, about 33% of our time bank. And they're betting half pot now. I think we're given this, we're going to believe them with their size, that they have at least a queen or ace. Most likely a queen. So this person on the top checks. If they check back, okay, so they're repping at least an ace here. The top player could have a queen available, so if they go all in, they could represent that queen if they want to. But at this point, the player that was continuing betting most likely had the ace there. And we were hoping to get that trip, turn, or river with our 8 as well. So given we did flop a pair, pairs are great. Flopped pairs are great. So you want to I want to have a pair on the board versus a pocket pair. I think pairs on the board are stronger. And given that we had a pair on the board and we had the opportunity to draw trips or 2 pair, that's why we called that flop bet of less than 50%. So yes, but that was our decision process there. And nothing too crazy so far today. Just thinking through the hands logically, the best that we can to make the most profitable play. So we'll be doing this moving forward every single, not every day, but I'm going to try to do 4 to 5 days, Monday through Friday, of the 30-minute lunch, play and explain, just to see our current process, just so we can log where we're thinking through the hands, just so we look back in the future, we can look at this point now and see what our thought process are. But even going back to my previous videos from my first few vlogs, I didn't talk through the hands as much, and now I'm going to make that more of a point, especially with the more practice and experience I'm getting and the more studying. I'm just be able to try to state those thoughts here in real time and log them for the future. So we'll get a couple more hands in here today, but nothing too crazy here. We're about the same. We bought in here for 110 BBs. I like to do 110 BBs on the ante game, just because you lose more BBs more, and we want to get a little higher stack than some of the players on the table. I'm not going to do a larger than 110 BBs before I start. If I have a stack that's around 200 or 300 BBs, I'll still play those stacks, just so I can have some fold equity and realize my equity better, deep stacked. But I'm not going to risk having, I'm not going to start with 200 BBs at this point. I'm just going to start with 110 on all levels, even 2 and L. I'm going to just start with the 100 BB stack, just so I can practice that. Because in the long run, I'll probably always start near 100 BB stacks. But that's our process here. I'm going to play one more hand before we wrap it up. And now, even though it's the last hand, we're probably going to be a little wider. But, if it's some garbage hand, we're still going to fold. Just because it's the last hand, we can't just We can't play nonsense, right? We gotta play a solid game plan. All right. And we got a flush completing turn. Have been playing the 4 tables at night. This is very slow pace compared to that, but it's good because I can really focus my attention, and be able to give some sharp thoughts. The 4 table game, I kind of wish I had more than 4 tables at this point, because even with the 4 tables, I'm waiting, because it's 2, 4, 6, 8 compared to 6 max, so that even when it's 4 tables, it still takes a little bit of time transferring to your move between the tables. But so here we go. We are going to open this hand, especially since there's a recreational player in the small blind. I'm just going to open this one, since those stacks are, I looked at their VPIP before and they were wide, so we're going to 3-bet them. We got a snap call from the small blind. Call, and this is going to be a multi-way pot. What do we expect here? So monotone again. I think if I bet, I'll get some folds, so I'm going to bet. I think I bet too fast. Any person with a spade will... Okay, well, I guess we won that one. But I was going to say, I'm going to sit out. Any person with a spade would have connected there and continued. So we got a little bit higher, 129 BB to end, but nothing too crazy here. And that's kind of the way we're going to go through the process, is take through the hands one step, one decision at a time, make the most profitable play, and go from there. But so thanks for watching, and stay tuned for a future video, and we'll see you next time.